This is terrifying. Leaning into the migrant woes, Suozzi pays election year. Mr. Suozzi's 8-point win flipped one of the 5 House seats Democrats needed to retake the majority in November, giving the party a badly needed shot of optimism. Okay? But his campaign also provided something that may prove more valuable, a playbook for candidates across the country competing on turf where President Biden and his party remain deeply unpopular. First of all, I don't think President Biden and his party is deeply unpopular, specifically in this district. Okay? The strategy went something like this: challenge Republicans on issues they usually monopolize, like crime, taxes, and above all, immigration. This is the exact reason why New York became almost purple for like for a moment. Okay? Trying to outflank the Republicans on crime, taxes, and immigration is literally the worst strategy of all time. You are personally reaffirming the narrative that these are real problems, or even if they are problems, by the way, they're problems that only the Republican Party's strategies can solve. That is really stupid. Okay? How do you message on a subject where 75% of Americans believe there's at least a serious problem at the border? Beautiful question. 75% of Americans would not believe that there is an issue at the border if the Democratic Party and the organs of propaganda that operate alongside the Democratic Party, the supposed liberal mainstream media, actually covered the issue with factually accurate information. This is identical to the issue of crime, retail theft, something that I have been absolutely daggered on time and time again, despite the fact that I was correct. Crime as a phenomena was manufactured. Crime is a constant, of course, especially in cities and whatnot, and it is a product of material conditions worsening. But if you ask the Democratic Party and the liberals, crime was happening because police were being defunded. That is right-wing framing. So the Democrats tried to outflank the Republicans on defunding the police and say, we are the party that wants to fund the police. In a country where 86% of the police vote Republican. It is an objectively idiotic way that the Democrats keep losing over and over and over again, and yet they still do it. They still do it because I suspect they want to lose. But at this point, it's like saying, go back in time and don't poison the well. If Dems change their tune right now, voters would think they're denying reality for how long? Eventually, the narrative would correct, but we're on a deadline here. That's so funny. You are missing the point that I'm making. Okay? Even turning it around at this point is still good. Okay? Because this is still a losing framing on the issue. You are never going to convince the Republicans, the Republican voters, and the reactionaries that the Democratic Party is the party of immigration. Even if you win, okay, and you do actually convince them, then all you're doing is passing right-wing issues anyway. All you're doing is passing bills that are right-wing anyway. But it's also idiotic. Agreed, it's good on the broader sense, but again, it's not the GOP. Independents think it's a problem. No, independents think it's a problem and will never be convinced that the Democratic Party will fix the problem. Independents have been captivated by right-wing framing pushed by liberal organs within the media. Okay? That's it. So work on issues that are strongest for you. Why are you caving to right-wing framing on immigration? Just hammer on the position that abortion was taken away from 50% of the population here in the United States of America by Republicans. Republicans are going after your civil liberties. There are ways to reframe the narrative. Republicans do it every day. They guide every single issue. They are the ones who run and dominate. They are the ones who run and dominate the conversation nonstop. The fact that we had any conversations about little trans girls participating in high school sports, even for a brief moment, even for more than 3 seconds, was a clear indication that this conversation is always, the media cycle is always dominated by right-wing framing on right-wing issues. And Democrats are always trying to play catch up. Okay? And if you do that, if you let them win on the messaging front, inevitably, people are going to believe that framing. People are going to start saying, well, everyone's saying it. Even the Democrats are saying it. But that's because it's easier for Republicans as they're doing it so from a position of power. That's not true. You're so wrong. The Republicans recognized that they had no power at the legislative body, at the federal level. So they, for the past 30 years, have very clearly used obstructionist policies at the legislative level, at the federal level, and then beefed up their incredibly gerrymandered state legislatures and filled the courts to the brim with Federalist Society judges all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States to basically get their wish at the state level, and then have that be tested in the courts and push for it at the federal level through the Supreme Court. What you're saying should be heard by leftists who say that abortion rights were taken away under Biden, so why should they vote for him again? That's part of the problem. An avoidable wrong place, wrong time situation when SCOTUS decided to overturn Roe. HasanAbi Productions posted your reaction to Two Man's death. I think it's tasteless, and you should probably tell them to delete it before your haters screenshot it and shit on you on Twitter again, thinking it's your channel and it's you uploading it to profit off of someone's death. Even people in the comments are telling them to delete it, and it's shameful how fast it was posted. HasanAbi Productions, if you don't take that fucking video down, I'm going to do everything in my power to fucking take your goddamn channel down. Okay? Holy shit, dude. Have some fucking think for a second. You're so horny to get the fucking views, okay? You're so horny to get the goddamn views, you don't realize that, like, every time I get fucking actually canceled, your view counts are going to go down as well, okay? When I get fucking really canceled one day and quit streaming entirely because of the dumb shit that you do like this from time to time, okay? Then you're going to have no content to post, okay? Do you want that? Come on, man. Someone in the Discord must have direct access to him. Just fucking reach out to him and tell him, take this shit down. Too Mad died? Wait, really? No. Oh, I think he already deleted it. Okay, good. There you go. That was quick. That was swift. What's wrong with it? I'm confused. Dude, what do you mean what's wrong with it? What do you mean what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is that immediately it's just like, people are going to be like, oh, you're capitalizing on someone's death. Okay? Wait, at least wait a little bit. You know what I mean? Or frame it in a way that makes a little bit more sense. Or just don't post it entirely, obviously. Have we not learned from 2016 what happens when we abstain or vote third party? Increase the odds that Republicans are gaining office. The residents of Roe is a clear example. Yeah, it's really cute that you're saying that, because I don't think you understand, but like in 2016, I was telling people to go and fucking... the clip complex has to understand that your haters can't tell the difference between you and a fan channel and will think Hasan is the one capitalizing on it. It's insane. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Some of them know that it's a clip complex, but they still fucking do it. A lot of people in the comments aren't saying what that chatter said. People in the comments are saying, yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's a good look regardless. And the video has been taken down swiftly because he's in here, because he's always in here, because he's fucking looking for anything to clip out. Anyway, all right. But yeah, overall, to that one chatter who was asking, in 2016, I was advocating to vote for Hillary Clinton because I saw how devastating that would be. And I was right. And in 2020, as you guys know, I worked with even the Democratic Party on special elections. Okay? As you guys saw. But ultimately, it's just, at a certain point, you have to recognize that this is idiotic and bad. I always tell you to vote regardless, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that voting for the Democratic Party when they're trying to pull some fuck shit like this is going to be good. Because it's not going to be good. Because if they get there, if they push for this and win on this issue, and they actually push legislation that is right-wing, then there is no difference between the Republicans doing this and the Democrats doing it. There's no difference. Unless you just personally only vote for the Democratic Party because you want a Democrat to be in office so you feel like your team is winning, Like, what's the difference here? What's the difference? If the Democratic Party tomorrow, in a hypothetical scenario that is not so hypothetical, decided that they are going to be the ones that are going to be anti-trans and push anti-trans bills, a lot of you liberals love talking about trans people, and you're like, oh, I guess you just don't care about trans people. I guess you don't care about immigrants. Remember how many fucking liberals said that in the 2020 election? I guess you don't care about immigrants then, and that's why you want to vote Republican. Not voting is basically voting for the Republicans. Okay, now Democrats are like, we don't give a shit about immigrants. We want to kill them ourselves. And you're like, well, if you don't vote for the Democratic Party, then, then Republicans are going to win. Okay, what's the difference? What's the difference? There is no lesser evil between the two parties if the Democratic Party is also pushing for the same evil that the Republican Party is pushing for.